I'm here because I am a roaring lion crying out righteousness. I can tell you this, that when we win, and we are going to win, the $70 million lawsuit we have against the Mellon Bank, the city of New York, and others, that we're going to build a brand new building for our students. As you can see, the complaint that we filed on the 17th of April that for $70 million, and we're going to use those funds to build if you will, a brand new school building for our we had two people who said they wanted to be engineers, one civil engineer, the other was a technical engineer and a structural engineer. And so we're gonna put together a school like you've never seen before with that $70 million. We're gonna invest in our young people, and they are certainly well worth it. But I want to say to you that there are many black people. I've discovered I've gotten some pretty ugly emails since we have put our information out in the press and out online. We got some ugly emails from black people who are praying that the bank will take our church. They're not praying that I defeat Mellon Bank and get justice for a whole lot of people who've never been able to beat a bank. You just don't go up against a bank, but we're going to be able to do it. And I have to tell you, I usually try to keep a lot of things under wrap. I don't, put a lot of stuff out in the street. You don't let the left hand know what the right hand is doing. You know what Jesus said about that. But I just have to tell you, and I'm not belly aching either. At least I don't think I am. I hope I'm not. I don't want a belly ache. But I'm amazed at the number of black people who are cheering for the bank. They are rooting for the bank. They're right here in Harlem. They're rooting for the bank. They are praying that the bank will take our church rather than us getting $70 million from the bank. They're not neutral. It's not so, well, I don't, they could say, well, I don't have a dog in this fight. If Pastor Manning wins, more power to him. If he loses, more power to the bank. That's not what they're saying. They are praying, and they're meeting in groups that, there's a part in this $70 million complaint that we filed where one of the local assemblymen, now he's not an assemblyman anymore, his name is Keith Wright. His father was the notorious Judge Bruce Wright, cut him loose Bruce, from the 60s and the 70s. But the assemblyman, Keith Wright, is praying that the Mellon Bank take our church. The politicians are praying that we lose our church building. Here's the deal. Say, well, Pastor Man, they don't like you. They don't like the fact that you speak about black people in ways they think is derogatory. It isn't. It's just the truth. They just don't want their dirty laundry aired. I never lied on black people. I've always told the truth on them. And you want for the first black person. Well, Obama won't black. If Obama was black, then because he came out of a white woman, you can't get a black man out of a white woman. If Obama was black, then you got to call all the children that Thomas Jefferson, the president, had with his mistress, Sally Hemings. I think he had 17 children by her. You got to say all 17 of those children are white because their daddy was white. No, ain't nobody never said Thomas Jefferson's children and Sally Hemings' children were white because they weren't. They were black because their mama was black. And Obama is white because his mama is white. Well, you know what they say, 1 ounce of black blood. Well, who said that? Well, the Ku Klux Klan, that's who said that. Anyway, but I hope I'm not belly aching. Pastor Manning, come on now, you big boy now, you ought to be able to roll with the punches. But I am amazed that there's so many people here in Harlem who are praying that the bank will win and that we'll lose our building, this beautiful building that we've done so much for. We fed 1 million people out of this building. We have sent children to some of the greatest schools, law schools, Juilliard, accepted at Yale, and accepted at the St. John's University bachelor program, graduate program, doctoral program, and we just keep pumping out leaders, pumping them out. We got the most fascinating group of young people ever, and a fascinating group of older people. We got an upscale media. We used to be big time media until, the Facebook algorithm people and YouTube, they took away 70,000 of my people, of my YouTube account. And, we're down to a couple thousand people a day. Okay, all right. Okay, that's where it is. You play the hand that's dealt with you. But we used to have a big hand. But the fact that people, it's just, this is a new low for black people. This is a new low that they haven't come to help. This is a new low. Well, you ain't, I should be allowed to have my political views. I should be allowed, if I believe what the Word of God, and all I've said is what the Word of God says, if I believe the Word of God and I preach it the way I preach it, and the Presbyterian preach it the way they preach it, the Baptists preach it the way they preach it, but if the Mellon Bank is getting ready to take away the Presbyterian Church, the Baptists don't say, well, because of what they preach and what they say, we're gonna pray that the bank wins and the church lose. That's a new low. That's a brand new low. But I just thought I'd let y'all know what's happening up here in New York. These black people up here in New York are praying that the bank take our building and I don't win this case. I think there's probably something else I need to discuss maybe, and I'll say that too. And I say this modestly as I possibly can. I used to be a part of the National Baptist Convention, the Baptist Ministers Conference of Greater New York and vicinity, the American Baptist Churches of USA. I used to be members of all of that. But I recognized that they weren't going anywhere. Their teachings were stale. They didn't have any life to them. They were all trying to act like Martin King, Dr. King. And they were all, if you will, stuck in a rut, and they had their traditions. And I just couldn't. I just left. I told them I was leaving, and I left, and I've not gone back. But they're holding that against us. And I have become, I've become some successful. My nephew was here the other day. He said, my uncle been on BET, that big time. And we have, I've done some things. A whole lot of people have done a whole lot more than I have in some regard. You're talking about, national media. But in terms of reaching people and serving the community, we've done a great job. And I've done some things. I've made it to some degree. I'm no failure. I've sailed way past a whole lot of pastors and leaders and teachers and professors as well. And I don't know. Well, I do know that sometimes people are jealous of you, and they want to, like crabs in a barrel, they want to pull you down. But I thought I would tell y'all, because I think you understand up here in New York, these black people have maybe I shouldn't even have announced it and let the sleeping dogs lie. But now that I made the announcement, you ought to see the hate mail that's coming in. Talking about they want the Mellon Bank to win, they want the city to win, hope we lose our building. I thought I'd let y'all know that they're not with me. But I want to leave you with this. I'm going to leave y'all with this. I'll say this for Jesus. When I win, I'm going to still help them and their children. When I win, I'm still going to help them and their children. I am. Now, I'm going to help them as much as I possibly can. And I am going to win. No, we're going to win this case. Now, this is it. You can go and check it out yourself at Pacer, but we're going to win this case. All right, everybody. I'm James Manning. I'm the Lord's servant.